Hello, I'm ABX2Cat and welcome back to the second channel vlog, and it's going to be a very tired vlog because it's something like 2:30 on my mental clock because, you know, flight time zones, stuff are confusing. But yeah, today I'm actually in Boston, America, and not only just in Boston, which you might recognize from the harbor back there actually. I don't know, it's really small and in the background of my face. But yeah, we're not only in Boston, we're in a hotel room which gives us like a bathroom on one side and a bedroom on the other, and I'm like floating between the two. It's a really nice position to sit and think about airlines, which is what we're talking about today. So yeah, I actually went on a low-cost airline to actually get here, or a budget airline, and I was going to talk a little bit about them. I could talk for a very long time, so I'm going to try and limit my thoughts on them, talk about kind of the history of how that whole thing started, talk about some facts, talk about my experience with one today. Hopefully you will enjoy the video. If you do, oh wait, it's the second channel. Let's get into it. So I do that almost every video because it's like ingrained with me, like, okay, liking the videos, like the transition from this to that. But no, let's get straight into it. Let's talk about some airline stuff, shall we? If you're interested in hearing, you can hear that. If you're not, then there's some cute cat videos out there. But yeah, let's start by just talking about low-cost airlines and how they really came about. Because nowadays it seems so ridiculous that on the literal same flight, this is one I checked recently, from London to Poland, you can take a British Airways flight that will cost you 100, sometimes 150, depending on your dates. Or you can take I think it's Ryanair a flight, it might be Wizz Air flight, that will cost you £30, sometimes 50, depending on the day. And it seems so ridiculous that the same kind of service, you know, it's literally transport from A to B, with no extra time added to the journey, no extra time, you know, no extra like stuff like that added, can cost you double as much more. But there's kind of like a little bit of context and history, and I'm going to try and fast forward through it by saying that for the longest time, flag carriers, you know, like British Airways, American Airlines, France Airlines, Spain Airlines. I'm making up airlines at this point, I think. But, you know, all of these airlines were exclusive, and because people just had to travel, or they were very rich anyway, they could charge a lot of money. And as a result of that, they did charge a lot of money. They made the sort of profit lines that a normal business would make, like 25, 30%. And that means because everyone's paying so much money, they can give really nice services because they'll still make lots and lots of money. And, you know, as well as giving those nice services, they can give their staff lots of money. I mean, working airlines is kind of hell. So you give your staff really nice pay bonuses and really nice salary, and that's the same thing, I think. But you know, really nice pensions, blah 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 blah. Your operating costs go up, and you're still making a good bit of money until I don't know when this first happened. I think it was in the 80s. A low-cost airline comes along and says, you know what? They're doing that in a really expensive way. We can just come in here, you know, try and make it as cheap as possible, operate on a 2 to 3% profit margin, and boom, suddenly, oh, now it looks like we can sell 100% of the seats, and therefore, you know, even selling at half the price can make almost sometimes the same amount of money. So yeah, that's how kind of low-cost airlines came to be. I wanted to speed through that one because it's a very condensed and very simplified history, because it kind of moves into where we are now, where low-cost airlines kind of dominate short flights. Like if you're taking a France Airlines flight from France to Germany, that's probably not a very good idea. You're probably wasting a lot of money on that. But there is the very weird situation where we're in right now, where long-haul budget flights don't really exist. They keep existing for the last 35 years. They have popped up, but almost every single time, with the exception of right now, obviously, which I guess it could still happen in the future, they've failed because, you know, expensive costs means the business has to go bust. And yeah, basically right now, as of 2013, there's quite a few routes you can actually take from somewhere in Europe to America on the low-cost airline, Norwegian. So it's Norwegian or Norwegian Air Shuttle. They kind of switch between the two names. I think Norwegian's the long-haul one. And yeah, basically Norwegian now does long-haul flights. And the reason that these don't work too well, you might think, so if it works so amazingly, you know, if short-haul flights are almost, you know, entirely dominated by the Ryanairs, the EasyJets, the Southwests, there are some low-cost lines. If they're so dominated by that, then why is there any point in why haven't they dominated the long-haul ones? Why do you still go on British Airways or America? Like, you get the insert country name here, airlines. Why do you still do that then? So the reason behind that is because basically the same model can't apply. You can't try and... So right now, you can almost give away free tickets from from London to France, or you can almost give away free tickets from London to Ireland, but you cannot do anything close to that with a ticket from London to America. And the reason for that is severalfold. First of all, it's the fuel cost, because obviously going so much further means you need a lot more fuel. I'm pretty sure fuel is expensive. There's that thing about jet fuel. I'm pretty sure it's because you have to put really expensive fuel in it. Pretty expensive as it turns out, and that means that you can't really just give away free seats because something wait, something 8 hours of flight. It adds up and it means you can't really do that. But the second point, the way more important one, is that in addition to your running costs being way higher, like you can only use the aircraft once a day or twice a day for a flight, which means you have to spend a lot more on that aircraft over time. But the third point is that the taxes kind of add up to a certain point where I think to leave the UK, it's something like 200 and something in taxes, or maybe it's 100 and something in taxes, which means that the difference between offering a flight that costs £100 and one that costs nothing is to give away a flight, you have to still charge someone £150, I think it is, but to sell them a flight for £100, you set up £250 and you can offer so much with that 100 and still make a healthy profit. And that is a lot of the reason why budget airlines don't really work too well over long distance. Like, even though I took a budget airline from the UK to America, it cost £150 each way, which is $200, I believe. Which is by no means a cheap flight, but it's so much cheaper than any other flight out there. So anyway, what am I leading into of all of that? So yeah, budget airlines don't really exist over long distances. They're going to. Norwegian is the one I want to believe works the best, because I feel for the longest time, this has started to change a little bit recently. For the longest time, low-cost airlines, Ryanair is the worst offender at this, tried extra hard and would even spend money to come across as cheap. So, or not even necessarily spend money, but like try extra hard to come across as cheap. So if you check the Ryanair website, I think now they might have updated it, but for the longest time, it was deliberately terrible to convince you, they don't spend any money on the website, therefore they don't do this. I believe they had like deck chairs in their in like one of their head offices, just to show you like we don't spend money on furniture, we give it all back to the customers. And it was, there was a kind of for the longest time, there was this crazy commitment. The guy who owns Ryanair, he's hilarious. It's hilarious or scary depending on your viewpoint, but he made comments about how like, we should have standing room in the aircraft and stuff like that, which obviously won't actually happen, but going as far out of the way as he can to say, this is a cheap flight. If you want a cheap flight, you go with us, yeah. And that's kind of going away now, and that's why I think long-haul airlines will work, because Norwegian is what I flew with today, and it was the nicest airline experience I've ever had, better than the insert fake airline name here's experience. Because, okay, first of all, right, so even though it's low cost, you can pre-order food, or you can just buy it, or just bring your own. You can literally pick yourself, and it's a lot cheaper, even if you include food and baggage, the things that usually you'd add on there, than it would be anywhere. But second of all, there's no extra benefits actually that come with long haul flights. So really, what it is we're just gonna fill up a plane. We're gonna try and pass on the costs and somehow, and maybe you'll enjoy it. It's not gonna be mega budget. It's not gonna be the £6 flight that you'll get at Ryanair, but it is a £150 transatlantic flight, which to me is pretty good. It goes even less than that sometimes, by the way. I almost got one for 135, but I couldn't fill out a visa for the next day because it would have been me flying literally the next day. So yeah, that's the point I wanted to make here. Long haul airline things are a thing. I'll sum up because I feel like I missed something in there. Point being, on short haul flights, if you're going with an expensive airline, you're doing something wrong. If your family are doing that, because I think there's some point in loyalty, your family are wrong. That's a terrible point to make, but yeah, that's a thing. I know I see it mostly with older people or rich people. I think it's rich and old people mostly. Maybe there's a big correlation there. But the second point is that budget airlines kind of like stole in there because they can do so many things that big airlines can't, which is kind of, it's almost sneaking in there, but at the same time it's cheap flights. And then finally, long distance budget airlines aren't really a thing, but they might be soon. I think that's everything I want to say today. Hope you did all enjoy today's little vlog thing, talking about low budget airlines, my experience. If you liked it, then I'll see you on the next video because I need to take a nap. I'll be doing some form of vlog when I get to New York, which will be tomorrow, because it's Friday as I record this, but I'm gonna go to sleep. So it'll be Saturday as I upload this. And yeah, there's my vlog. I really would like to show. Do you want to see it at the end here? This is a hotel room. It's like way over the top, and I don't know what to do with it. Like they're like, oh, there's like 2 bars that way, and then there's 2 restaurants that way, and then there's like this and that, and I'm like, oh. and then after all of that stuff, where I'm like, oh, this is fancy. Look how good I am. It's like, well, it costs $20 for internet, and even though it's dollars and not real currency, I still don't want to really pay that too much. So anyway, with all of that said, hope you all enjoyed this thing, because I enjoy sleeping. Goodbye. Wait, let's fall onto the bed sideways.